This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you're watching Pulse of Africa. I'm Samia Mohammed for the main news. First, our top stories for today. Ghanaian president initiates national dialogue on economic growth. Groundbreaking health intervention in Tanzania cuts maternal and newborn deaths. Libya announces first bidding round for oil exploration in 17 years. Trump pauses all U.S. military aid to Ukraine. Now, the news in detail. Ghanaian President John Dramani Mahama launched a national economic dialogue on Monday to navigate the country's economic growth path. Addressing the participants in the national capital of Accra, Mahama stressed the importance of the meeting that will seek solutions to Ghana's recurring economic challenges and formulate strategies to put the country's back on a sustainable growth path. We are gathered here to reclaim our country's economic strengths to make us a beacon of progress on the African continent, not only a beacon of democracy, but a beacon of economic prosperity, he said. The president underlined the crucial role of governance reforms to improve transparency and accountability, urging collective responsibility in rebuilding the economy. Mahama also called for proposals on structural reforms that will address the needs of the private sector to make it the real engine of growth to create jobs for the sprawling youthful population. Now, to Southern Africa. The World Food Programme of the United Nations, which relies heavily on the funding from the United States, announced on Monday that it will be shutting down its Southern African office due to financial limitations. Typically, the U.S. contributes nearly half of World Food Programme's annual donations, but it is currently reducing foreign aid contracts globally as a part of President Donald Trump's America First policy. Thomson Phiri, a regional spokesperson, indicated that the agency will merge its Eastern and Southern African operations, managing both from Nairobi. He assured that this change will not impact the ongoing country operations in Southern Africa, where World Food Programme is assisting millions affected by drought. Phiri emphasized the aim to maximize resources for frontline teams by making every dollar count. Shifting to Gabon. Gabon's interim president, Brice Oligui Nguema, announced Monday that he will run as candidate in the country's presidential election scheduled for April 12, ending months of speculation. Addressing a rally in the capital Libreville, Nguema said he made the decision to serve his compatriots after careful consideration. "Give me the strength to go further and do even more," he said. His announcements followed a series of consultative meetings with various socio-professional groups since last Saturday. Candidates for the presidential election have until March 8 to officially apply to the National Commission for the Organization and Coordination of Elections and Referendums. Moving on to Tanzania. A revolutionary health intervention program in Tanzania, which focuses on improving the quality of care during birth, is significantly reducing the rates of maternal and newborn mortality in the country, according to a new study. The Safe Birth Bundle of Care program involves the use of clinical and training tools for improved labor care and newborn resuscitation. The program, according to the authors of the study, is integrated with new strategies for continuous quality improvement. The intervention has cut maternal deaths by 75% and early newborn deaths by 40%, the reporter stated. In other news, U.S. President Donald Trump has paused military aid to Ukraine following his clash with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last week. A White House official said, deepening the fissure that has opened between the one-time allies. The move comes after Trump upended U.S. policy on Ukraine and Russia upon taking office in January, adopting a more conciliatory stance towards Moscow, and after an explosive confrontation with Zelensky at the White House on Friday, in which Trump criticized him for being insufficiently grateful for Washington's backing in the war with Russia. President Trump has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. We are pausing and reviewing our aid to ensure that it is contributing to a solution, said the official on Monday, speaking on condition of anonymity. Moving on to our next story. Nearly 60% of all adults and a third of all children in the world will be overweight or obese by 2050 unless governments take action, a large new study said on Tuesday. The research published in the Lancet Medical Journal used from data from countries to paint a grim picture of what it is described as one of the great health challenges of the century. The unprecedented global epidemic of overweight and obesity is a profound tragedy and a monumental societal failure, lead author Emanuela Gakidu from the US-based Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation said in a statement. The number of overweight or obese people worldwide rose from 929 million in 1990 to 2.6 billion in 2021, the study found. Without a serious change, the researchers estimate that 3.8 billion adults will be overweight or obese in 15 years, or around 60% of the global adult population in 2050.
Only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now, turning to business news. Libya plans its first bidding round for oil exploration in more than 17 years. Masoud Suleiman, acting chairman of the National Oil Corporation, announced in televised address on Monday. Libya is Africa's second largest oil producer and a member of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. In August, Libya lost more than half of its oil production, about 700,000 barrels per day, and exports were halted at several ports. The shutdowns lasted for over a month, with production gradually resuming from early October. Finally, U.S. President Donald Trump's new 25% tariffs imports from Mexico and Canada took effect on Tuesday, along with doubling of duties on Chinese goods to 20%. The tariffs, which have the potential to disrupt approximately $2.2 trillion in annual bilateral trade between the United States and other nations, have already begun to be implemented. This action followed President Trump's assertion that the three countries had not taken sufficient steps to curb the influx of the lethal fentanyl opioid and its precursor substances into the United States. China responded immediately after the deadline, announcing additional tariffs of 10 to 15% on certain U.S. imports from March 10, a series of new export restrictions for designated U.S. entities. Canada and Mexico, which have enjoyed a virtual tariff-free trading relationship with the U.S. for 3 decades, were poised to immediately retaliate against their longtime ally. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. That's all for today, and thank you for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.